foods that we can eat are called sattvic foods, and foods that we must avoid are called rajasic and tamasic foods. So what are these foods? What are the qualities, characteristics, and we'll see some examples as well. And most importantly, let's understand if pani puri is rajasic, tamasic or sattvic. As they say, we become what we eat, isn't it? So let's answer all these questions in our video today. Namaskaram everyone, welcome back to Zesty Nimbu. This is Sri Rekha. If you like the content that I am making, please like, subscribe and share my videos. And also super thanks has been enabled in all my videos, previous and latest. So please show your love by sending me super thanks. Every human being is born with an innate faith, a shraddha, and that shraddha can be divided into three types. They are gunas. They are sattvika guna, rajasika guna and tamasika guna. Sattvic is goodness. Rajasic is filled with passion and tamasic is called mode of ignorance. So mode of goodness, mode of passion and mode of ignorance. These are the three gunas any human being has. Similarly, the foods that we eat are also divided into these three gunas, sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. In fact, not just this, the yajnas, the danas, the dharmas that we do are also dependent on the innate quality that we have. If you are having sattvika guna, the yajnas, danas and tapas that we do it for the welfare of humanity or for the whole world, and we don't expect anything in return. In case of rajasic, the person who does this, like the tapas, the danas, dharmas, yagas, he expects something in return. He is egoistic, he wants something in return. Tamasic gun basically is where that person, while doing the yagas, danas and tapas, is actually harming his own body, and with that he is harming his own soul. So that is what Sri Krishna says in Shloka 2. Trivida bhavati shraddha dehinam sa swabhavaja satviki rajasi chaiva tamasi cheti tam shrunu. Every human being is born with an innate faith, which can be of three kinds, sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. And then in the 7th shloka he says, aharastavapi sarvasya trivido bhavati priyah yajnah tapah tatha danam tesham bhedamimam shrunu. That means the food that we prefer is according to the different gunas that we have. The same is also true for the yajnas, the sacrifices, the austerities, the charities, dharmas, tapas. They are also inclined according to the gunas that a person has. When we have cleared this idea of what is sattvic, tamasic and rajasic, the gunas, let's understand the quality of each of these gunas. So according to Sri Krishna, 8th verse, this he describes as the sattvika guna. What is sattvika guna? Ayuhu sattva balarogya sukha priti vivardhanaha rasyaha snigdhaha sthira hridya aharaha sattvika priyaha. That means the foods that sattvika guna people or people in the mode of goodness prefer are those foods that promote lifespan or increase the longevity of our lives and increase the virtue, strength, health, happiness and satisfaction. So what are the quality of such foods? They are juicy, they are succulent, they are nourishing and they are naturally tasteful. In mode of goodness, that is in sattvika guna, it is full of pure, illuminating, serene and it creates a sense of happiness and satisfaction. So the foods in the sattvika guna also reflect these qualities. So they bestow good health, virtue, happiness, satisfaction. They include grains, pulses, beans, fruits, vegetables, milk and other vegetarian foods. Also the foods that we cook and eat hot, as in we make it and we eat it, we consume it then and there. They are hot, pan to the plate. So such kind of foods which are made fresh. All these foods come under sattvic foods. What we eat, so we become. So we have to pay a lot of importance to what we consume. So now let's see what are rajasic foods. 9th shloka, Krishna says this. Katva amla lavana atyushna tikshana ruksha vidahinaha ahara rajyaseshtha dukha shokamaya pradaha. What are shadruchis in our culture? They are salt, sweet, bitter, sour, pungent and spice. When we do Ugadi Puja or the new year that we welcome in the southern states, what we do is we make Ugadi Pachadi or Ugadi Chutney. It is a balance of these 6 tastes. And they say your life is balanced if you have all these tastes in your life. So what happens even if one of these tastes increases, the whole food item gets spoiled. So if the salt is more, or the sweetness is more, or sourness is more, there is a change in the balance of the food item and it is not as tasty as we want it to be. So that's what Krishna also says. If there is bitterness, lavana, or saltiness, amla or sourness, it is very hot, ati ushna. Tikshana is pungent, very pungent. So anything, when we add very to all these shadruchis, it changes the taste and it increases the problems and it changes the balance of the food item. Foods that are too bitter, too sour, too salty, very hot, very pungent, dry. Ruksha is dry. Full of chilies are dear to persons in the mode of passion. That means Rajasa Guna. So what do these foods do? These foods produces pain, grief and disease in our body. So imagine you eat something very spicy. What do? After some time, you have acidity in your stomach, right? So we have to take some medicine to reduce the acidity. These kind of Rajasic foods produce some trouble in our stomach, at least for a short period of time. They might not be for a longer duration, but at least for a short period of time, we are uncomfortable. We have to take antacid tablets or we have to undergo some problem. So that is the essence of Rajasic foods. So we must try to avoid as much as possible. I know, it is not easy to have balanced food every day, but we have to try. As I say, the purpose of eating is not to relish bliss through the palate, but to keep the body healthy and strong. Because when your body is healthy and strong, we can focus on dharmic activities and we can attain moksha. So that is the whole purpose of food. When I was young, I used to joke with my parents that I am living to eat. But that's not true. We are eating to live. As I've grown up, I've understood the folly and I've, tried to do better things in life. So that is why we have to have sattvic foods in our life for good health, good strength, so that we can do better activities, dharmic activities. Rajasic foods are still okay. But now let's see what are tamasic foods and which we must avoid at all costs. Sri Krishna in Shloka 10 says that Yatayamam gatarasam puti payurshitam chayat uchishtam chamedhyam bhojanam tamasapriyam. That means, what is yama? Yama means a duration of 3 hours. It is said that any food which is cooked and consumed after more than 3 hours becomes stale. It gets tamasic gun in it, tamasic quality, ignorance. So such foods are stale foods. Gatarasam, that means with no taste, tasteless. Puti, that means putrid, which are like very bad to taste. Payurshitam, which are polluted. Uchishtam, that means they are leftover. So we consume sometimes leftover foods, refrigerated foods. They are very bad for our health. Amedhyam, which are impure, contaminated. Some form of contamination enters the food and we consume that and we become sick. So these kinds of foods are dear to people in the mode of ignorance or tamasika gun. So foods that are impure, have bad taste, possess foul smells come in the same category. I might become preachy here, but I know our lives have become very fast, nuclear families, parents are working very hard. So there is less time to spend on cooking. What we do is we cook for the whole week and put it in our refrigerators and then we keep reheating our food and eating it. Do you think that is healthy? It's not. If not for us, at least we should take care of the kids, make them foods which are fresh so that they are healthy. So we must make sure that at least for the kids, we are cooking fresh, healthy foods because as they say, what you eat, so you become. If you keep eating tamasic foods, that kind of ignorance enters your body as well. And we start behaving in that way. So it's always better to eat fresh foods, fruits, vegetables and freshly cooked food. I make it a point to actually cook 3 times a day. I don't eat refrigerated food. I also make mistakes. I've been making mistakes. But after reading these shlokas, understanding the meaning of them, I've tried to incorporate them in my life as well. At least for my child, I try to make very fresh food. Try to incorporate this in your lives as well. This will help our next generation becoming healthy and strong so they can concentrate on the dharmic activities. Now, most important, is Pani Puri sattvic, rajasic or tamasic? What do you think? Pani Puri can be any of these 3 gunas based on the quality of ingredients that we put in that Pani Puri. In northern part of India, it is said that Pani Puri was actually consumed for the digestive capabilities. So if you eat a heavy meal, you eat Pani Puri at the end to help in digestion. So there it is sattvic. Now, if there is too much salt, too much sugar or too much chili, then it becomes rajasic because it troubles your stomach. You have to take antacid tablets and it becomes tamasic tamasic, if you contaminate the water or any of the items which go into making the pani puri, it affects us long term. We might get diarrhea and so many other things as well. So then it becomes tamasic. So try to make pani puri as much sattvic as possible. I hope you have liked today's video. This is about the three gunas, sattvika, rajasic and tamasic gunas, which are important in cooking our food as well. So I hope you follow the instructions given by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. The question of the day is, what or who is Ucheshravas? Put the answers in the comment section below. And the Rishi of the week is Brihaspati. Tell me more about what you know about Brihaspati. If you have liked today's video, do like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. Do give me super thanks if you like my content, even for my previous videos as well. I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, Namaskaram.